Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, and this is a 2012 Mercedes C250, and I'm going to show you how to do your rear brakes on this car. I did already the front brakes, so you can check my other video, and now we're going to do the rear brakes. So guys, in order to take this, we're going to change brake pads and rotors. They're worn out on these German cars, Mercedes, BMW, Audis, Porsches. Usually when I do a brake job, I replace always rotors and brake pads. I'm not gonna explain to you why I have other videos on this topic and object, or this topic. It's better to do it this way, both pads and rotors, in order to not to sacrifice the performance of the vehicle. Putting used or putting new brake pads on used rotors, it's just not going to work. So again, this is the way I do it, and this is the way you should do it in order to make sure your car performs in the best way possible. I'm going to disconnect this brake wear sensor, brake pad wear sensor here. Just pull it out, and first thing first is I'm going to use a simple screwdriver to open the piston back to zero position. It's just much easier to do it here instead of when it's out of the car. As you can see, just do it very slowly all the way back to zero position. And let me see if it's there. You can transfer and push the inside pad all the way in. I mean, just very easy and very fast. We're done. You don't need any tools, all this stuff, all these rotational tools that give you a hard time, this and that. We're done here. I mean, it took us 10 seconds. Next thing is we need to, there are two caps here on these rubber things, rubber tunnels. Here's the caps, up and top cap. I have the two caps here. We need to open. There's an Allen inside, that's 7mm Allen. Yes, very strange 7mm Allen. So I'm gonna open these Allens in order to release the caliper. Here we go, one is open, and we're going to do the second one here. Okay, and I have to get a, let me see if I can do it from here, but most likely not. Yeah, my head of the Milwaukee is too big. I need to use a hand ratchet to open this because I'm touching the lower control arm here. There we go. They were actually not that tight. They were kind of loose, so that is definitely not a good sign. But and once we get it out, we can move this. One more thing, there's a bracket here, metal shim bracket that we need to open in order to release this. Here we go. So We need to take one out. Brake pads worn out. Inside not that much. Well, I mean, it's worn out halfway through. It hasn't touched the brake pad sensor, but we're replacing these anyway. Brake pads are by Mercedes, well, Mercedes branded, but ATE. And one important thing is, I always get these two bolts out and try to clean these, and I'll try to lubricate them a little bit here on this side. Actually, best way to do that is to take them out and clean both of these with a metal brush before you can install them. Okay, we got two bolts here to take this bracket out. It's this one here and this one here. Those are 18 millimeter, and I'm going to use my ratchets because there is no space behind there, and I'm going to use a trick here. Okay. So, because these are going to be tight, I'm going to have to push this hard. Okay. And next one here. Let me see if I have enough space. And okay, yeah, they're hard. I think they have Loctite. That's what it feels like. I don't know when's the last time these brakes were replaced, but the bolts are coming out kind of hard. Yeah, these definitely have Loctite. Yeah, you see blue Loctite, and bottom one. Okay, here's the bracket is out. Loctite bolt again. Bracket is out, and now we need to release this T30 Torx that holds the rotor so we can replace it. Be careful with these guys because I actually try to use a small impact gun on these because you can twist them very easily. Okay, this one came out. It wasn't hard. And when you install them, don't get them too tight, guys, because you can strip these very easily. Okay, rotor is going to be glued. As soon as I saw this rust, I know that, so I'm going to have to use a hammer to release this rotor. Okay, so the way to release this, you're going to have to hit here. This is how you release the rotor here. This is it. Again, lots of rust. And now we're going to install the new rotor here. Try to clean this with air, compressed air, because there's going to be a lot of rust. If in your case, if you haven't cleaned this before, you're going to have a lot of brake dust around this area. That's your parking brake shoes. So guys, if you wanna, this is the new rotor. I just cleaned it with brake cleaner. If you're gonna need to adjust your parking brake, which is here, what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to do this before we install the rotor. If your parking brakes are fine, you don't need to do that, but I usually do that when I do a brake change every time. So I'm going to push this. I'm going to, I guess, spin this to release the piston up, and I'm going to do it until this rotor cannot go in. So at this point, you see we can still move in. So I'm going to push it a little bit more. The moment this rotor stops going in is the moment when we can stop doing this. So this is too much. It's a little bit too much, so it needs to be spinning freely. So I'm going to return a little bit. Okay, it is spinning freely. That's how you do it. You just make sure that the rotor is spinning freely in the parking brake, or otherwise you're gonna have it too tight. You don't want the brake shoes overheating this rotor, because they're gonna destroy it. And T30 bolt holding this rotor back in. Again, it doesn't need to be very tight. This should be fine. I believe about 10-15 Newton meters should be fine for this. And we have this back in. Rotor is in. Now we need to get the brake pads, the new brake pads installed. And let's see. Let me get those new brake pads. Okay, got the new brake pads. Well, of course I'm jumping a step forward. I need to install the caliper support first with the 18mm bolts here. I am going to hand tie these bolts because there is no space here to do a torque wrench, unfortunately. So and there is a reason why they install them with Loctite, so they don't come out. Okay, very, very tight. Next thing is we have the actual caliper, and we got one new brake pad here. Make sure you get the brake sensor through, and you're gonna have to push this brake pad here, and next thing is the outside brake pad will have the sticky 3M thing. This is an AT pad, that's the original that comes on this car. It's just not branded Mercedes. And let's install these. I'll start them like this, and we're going to get this here through. Okay, now the two bolts that I showed you, I ended up cleaning these, and I'm gonna just lightly smudge them here with grease. Get them too. Again, lightly smudge them with grease. And of course, clean your gloves after you touch the grease. You don't want this to be, you don't want to ruin your brake job. So remember, one went through here. But the other bottom side, there is no space here, so we're gonna have to do them by hand. Yeah, it's going in. I'm gonna hand tight these, but I believe the torque was about 20-25 Newton meters. Shouldn't be more than that if you want to get them tight with a torque wrench. Anyway, they have a metal stopper, they won't go anymore anyway. And don't forget your caps here. And to install these caps back in, and of course don't forget your brake pad sensor. But since it's giving me, like the front, it's giving me a little bit of trouble to get in, I'm gonna just install a little smudge of grease so we can get it in. And try to get it out of the way so it doesn't touch any metal. Again, try to make sure that it's out of the way here so it doesn't touch any metal. And last thing, of course, would be the metal bracket here. And always check if this is installed. And this last piece, this bracket is what finishes this job, and the other side doesn't have a sensor, so I'm showing you the one with the sensor because that's the extra procedure that you have to do. But the driver's side does not have the sensor, so it's a little bit easier, I would say, but it's the same thing as this, just doing this side. And this concludes the rear brake job on this Mercedes C-Class 2012. And I hope you guys enjoyed these videos. Please hit that like and subscribe buttons, because your support helps me to run this channel so I can make more videos to save you thousands of dollars. And again, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks a lot.